Despair to hope. Helpless to hopeful. From no one to count on to faith that with God all things are possible. The history of A Ray of Hope is that of coming alongside a broken family, a single mother, an addicted man or woman, or a person just released from prison, and offering a chance at a different direction in life if they're willing to put in the effort. As a child in Phillipsburg, Montana, Peggy Christianson learned from her parents how to handle many difficult facets of life and inherited a vision for serving God by serving her neighbors. Her father, Richard Johnson, taught her that most often what we fear never happens, so take care of it and move on. He taught her to work, collecting copper and other metals to sell, explaining that with these skills, if necessary, she would always be able to support herself and her children. Her mother, Dorothy, taught her to care for the hungry by taking plates of food to neighbors, picking up the plates left the day before and returning them to her mother's kitchen. These birthed in Peggy a lifelong desire to serve God by serving others, and when she married Bob Christianson, he told her that since she had the vision, with God's help, he would provide the income. They took in and raised 36 foster children at their cabin in Helmville until their own 2 sons were grown, and the Lord drew Peggy's attention to Kalispell. Active in lay ministry in the early 90s, she saw people set free from addictions through the power of Jesus Christ, only to fall again because they lacked work skills or a safe place to live. She opened the first thrift store on Highway 2 East to provide the financial support needed for her growing ministry to these individuals and families, taking the Lord literally when he said, "Feed the hungry, clothe the naked, care for the widowed and orphaned." One day at closing time, a World War II veteran showed up with a bandaged leg, asking if she had a place he could sleep that night. She fed him, pulled down a mattress for him to sleep on, and the next day took him to a doctor. Again that night at closing time, he came back with 3 friends, and a homeless shelter was born. Since that time, the Lord has used many of you to bless A Ray of Hope with the Victorian House on 5th Avenue West, which opened in 2006. We were blessed again by many of you to help purchase the former food bank, which opened in June as Hope Thrift. By God's grace, it is already paying its own note, and we believe it will continue to provide ongoing financial support to fulfill our vision to serve others in Jesus' name. A Ray of Hope's ministry has grown in so many ways since that particular day when the veterans stayed the night. We receive calls daily from people needing help, a place to live, financial assistance to make the rent payment or keep utilities on, Christmas or birthday gifts for children, school clothes and supplies, bus tickets, Bibles and spiritual guidance, training in budgeting. We provide tanks of gas for people to get to work or the doctor's offices. Families use our washer and dryer to save on laundry bills. We're blessed with shipments of food, blankets, sleeping bags, and warm hats and gloves, and pass them on to other local ministries. We help residents get their GEDs, enroll in FVCC, and encourage them to use our telephone number and our address instead of a post office box number. Last year, A Ray of Hope touched 843 people in Jesus' name. A Ray of Hope saves our community thousands of social service dollars yearly. Both local hospitals and mental health know that they can call to ask if a patient with nowhere to convalesce can stay at our home, and we bring them in, monitoring their recovery. Law enforcement gives our name to those newly released from prison on probation or house arrest. We do not discriminate, teaching residents that Jesus Christ is the foundation of this home and this ministry, often leading them to a saving knowledge of Him. Research shows that once a person has been homeless for 6 months, they may never re-enter the workforce. With the economy deteriorating, more and more families are being forced to live in their cars, in garages, or to move from a friend's home to a relative's couch. This is particularly true for larger families and single mothers, and most property owners will not rent to a family that has a poor credit history. Even a short period of homelessness can lead to addictions, depression, and child neglect, with no vision for a way out. To combat this, The heart of Peggy's vision has always been to eventually purchase a building to convert to apartments or a sixplex, adding it to a Ray of Hope's trust. Here, a family at risk could learn how to cultivate good work habits, budget their income, and learn and apply good parenting skills, all built on God's direction to care for the homeless, hungry, and needy. Our goal for this evening is to pay off the private notes on a Ray of Hope Trust, which consist of $35,000 for Hope Thrift and $101,000 for the home. This would then enable us to utilize the income provided by our donors and Hope Thrift to purchase a building where struggling families can regain their footing spiritually and financially. The vision that the Lord has given to Peggy has grown over time, dating back from that little girl working diligently in her parents' home until today, and become the vision for us all. It's a vision of faith, love, and hope as we all work together as one in giving others a hand up, not a handout, as they create a new life for themselves and their children.